All right. So here we are. I grabbed I've grabbed the project brief elements that are in my final design. I'm over here on Mural, and I want to talk about what we have. So we're finalizing all our elements. That's what we're doing this week. So we have our final mark, a different logo, color variations, meaning positive and negative, working in color and black and white. We've chosen a color palette, and we're identifying what that color palette is, the CMYK breakdown, the RGB breakdown, the hex code. When we work with design, there's CMYK is used for print, RGB and the hex code are used for screen. So anyone who's working with this brand needs both, depending on what they're going to be producing. And so that's for both of these colors. And then there's also what other typefaces are going to be used to complement the logo. And so here they're showing us the typeface, and then they're showing us an example of the typeface and the numbers, which I think is really excellent. Okay, so then here's the parts. So there's the mark, which is this M for Mary's Kitchens with the fork, knife, and spoon. And then there's the stacked logo, which is the logo above the words Mary's Kitchen, Mary's Country Kitchen. And then you have the horizontal, which is Mary's Country Kitchen to the side of the mark. And so here over on the right, you're going to see this is what I've asked you to do is create a final project presentation where we're going to have multiple page PDF that shows all of these pieces because it's not just one thing we're doing. So we're going to take, and the first part is going to show me all of the logo options on this page to show me, the stacked and horizontal and even standalone. All of that will be on this first brief page. And then we're going to look at color palette and color logo variations in positive and negative. So that's actually all of this information here will go right here. And then we're going to show the typeface used for secondary treatments along with color palettes. And so that can be a couple different ways we can do that. I'm actually going to say it this way. We can go this way with our logo variations here. And then the color palette and typeface can go here. You're going to show color here too, though. So you're going to have color both ways. And then you're going to have include your design rationale for your final identity. Well, you all know what that is. We've been doing that all along. So you're going to tell us what the rationale is for this design. And then you're going to show your mock-ups. And so here's some examples of mock-ups. You're going to have a minimum of 3, but if you want to do more, you can. And those are going to go on the last screen. I saw a hand up. Quinn, go ahead.
I was just wondering, this mural board, I know it's the students. Is there any way that we could share it or like save that, like what you just said and all the arrows and everything as a PDF for us to have as reference?
It's up actually. This mural board is up
It's
in
the
your
same one.
area. It's
Oh,
the
okay, cool.
identity. Yeah, it's up there. So you can see it. This is the one I've been using for demoing.
Right.
So it's up there. Yep, there you go.
Totally
Matthew's on
forgot
it.
that that was in our Great.
Yeah. So no, this is up here for you guys to look at. And that's why I thought I would show it because I know when I'm just writing it down here, it seems a little abstract. And that's why I put all these images in our project brief to make it really clear that there's all these parts, right? We're doing an identity and it has all of these moving parts. So that yeah. So yes, this is available. It's up there, and I see most of you are coming up here and seeing it. So that's how I want you to think about it. And your design rationale, again, is like, why did you do what you did? It's not really describing the work, but it's giving me the why. I chose these colors because they represent what? I chose this typeface because it represents what? All of those kind of choices you made. This is what you really need to do to talk about your work when we get to that portfolio stage, right? So when we're talking, this design rationale is something that you want to include in your Behance. So, or when you're interviewing and talking about your work, this is kind of to help you prepare for any time you're talking about your work. how do we talk about our work? So that's what that design rationale is, why it's so important. And I gave it its own slide. So you're going to set this up as a PDF. You can do this in Illustrator. You can do this in InDesign, and you're going to save it out as a PDF. So it's going to be at least 5 panels. You can always make it more if you want, if you have more things you want to show. And then you want to make sure that, of course, you have all of your process board completely filled out, right? And so I kind of show you like this here is the example that I gave you in our project brief. That's what that is. Hope I see someone got knocked out, it looks like. Okay, so anyway, so this is up here for you to see how we're, how we're thinking about our final presentation. Any other questions before we move on? Oh, I see there's a chat. Yep, you definitely want to include the numbers. So with your color palette, that's a great question, Marwa. The reason we're I want you guys to get used to thinking about the numbers of the colors. So for example, you have CMYK, which stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And that's for when we do anything that's print. So when a project goes to print, it uses CMYK. When we're on a computer, it's RGB. And when we're thinking about websites, we're building a website, we're building an app, we're going to use hex codes. So, and this is the hex code. So those are the things, those are the 3 sets of numbers that are really helpful for when you're creating a design, showing what the different variations of that, how to create that color accurately, and always create it accurately. We want it to always be the same. When we create a brand color, we want consistency. And so that means it always needs to be exactly the same. How do we
Sorry,
find the
I'm not sure if the my voice is stable. Where can I locate those? So if I from the color palette, from the Adobe color,
yeah.
okay.
So a couple places. So that's a great question. And Giselle's asking the same one. So let's go back to our Adobe color. Okay. I don't need this. So I get out of this. Okay. So we're going to go into Adobe Color. So let's just grab this first one that they're giving us. So here's the thing. On the left, it says here, our color mode, RGB, HBS, hexadecimal, which is the hexadecimal system. So those are the 2, RGB, hexadecimal. They're not giving you CMYK on here because this is a digital platform. So they're only going to give you colors that can be represented correctly digitally. So the 2 colors that we're looking at needing are, and you can just, so for example, I have RGB on here. Let me zoom in so you can see this a little better. So here when I see the color and I'm in Adobe Color, I can see how I can just roll over and copy it. And then it says it's copied. I can take that, go over here to my Illustrator file. So I'm just going to, because I have this one open, I'm just going to use this. And I can just take this and paste it down. Okay, there's my hex code. I'm going to go back to here, and then I'm going to say, or that's my hex code. And then I'm going to go, what am I doing? Is it doing hex code for both? Oh, I guess it is just giving you hex code for both. Okay, but I'm going to show you how that is irrelevant. So we're going to come over here. I'm in Illustrator now. And I'm going to go to my color board. Here we are. So I can go ahead. And so right now you see it's in CMYK. What I can do is see this little number down here? It's asking for the hex code. So I'm going to go A9F567. And look what it did. It automatically gave me the CMYK of this hexadecimal code. So here it is. Here's that CMYK of the hex code that I got from Adobe Color. Plugs it right in for me. You know what? And let's just worry about the hex code and the CMYK. Don't worry about RGB because we're moving more and more away from RGB. So let's just focus, you know what? Let's do that. Let's just focus on RGB, hexacode and CMYK. So now I can say for my color, this is my hex code. And then I can go in and say CMYK. And there's a couple different ways you can show this. Let me go back to Mural. You can see, so she's putting CMYK and then putting them in the order cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. So I'm going to go here. And I'm going to go cyan, which is the first number, I'm going to round it up to 35. 35, oops. 35, 0, 79, 0. Okay, so there is my two colorways for this chartreuse color. And then I can show it, however I want to show my chartreuse. And I can go A, 9, F, 5, 6, 7. There it is. Okay. So that's how you do it. You use the color palette, you plug in the hex code, and then it'll give you the CMYK code. Good question. Excellent. Any other question? Would show color palette and logo variations in positive and negative mean we should show one of our logo variations or just revise rough and put all our color variations directly next to it? Positive and negative means that the logo, let's say this is your logo, and it's on white. And then what if the logo is on black? What do we have to do differently? So I'm going to make this white. Actually, I'm just going to show you on Jessica's. So this is positive and negative. Here is the logo, which is black on white. That's positive. That means the logo is in a positive form. When it's reverse, that means it's white on black. So that's what's showing, that's what reverse means, or negative. Negative is meaning it's the opposite. So it's on the dark color and it's a light color. And so here she's showing us the reverse or the negative on the dark color. And then up here, down here, she's showing us the positive, the green M on a white background. So when it's on white, the M is green. When it's on green, the M is white. That's the difference that's positive, negative. Does that make sense? Or positive, reverse, either way. You can say either way.
So should we create like four variations, two black and white and two colored?
Right here, we already did it.
Yeah.
Here's your positive, here's your reverse, here's your color version positive, here's your reverse.
Okay.
Yep, that's what logo color variations mean. We did that for this week. So yep, you want to show it positive and reverse in black and white, and then whatever color. And you don't have to show 4 colors. I just was randomly showing you 4 colors. It can be 1 color, just like you saw over here. Yep. So that's what that means. Good questions. Any other ones? Well, let me look at if anyone has any specific questions that they're concerned if you're doing it right or wrong, and we'll go over that. Okay. All right. I'm going to wrap up this video now.